Cracking, guys? Welcome back to Blockchain Gaming with Barndog. Today I'm going to be going over Star Atlas. I think it makes sense to make this my very first proper deep dive into a project. I'm just trying to get my screens and my recordings and everything properly done. So bear with me. I did change my suite of things to do today. Maybe I've got to get it right. So here I am. What I'm going to be trying to do is to keep these videos somewhere around 15 minutes and under. For a big project like this, 15 minutes just isn't enough to get into it. But there's so much content out there at the moment that I'm not trying to beat that content. I'm just trying to add to that content to put out some extra information that people may not have gone over and all of that kind of stuff. So what is Star Atlas? Massive MMORPG. And you can see right here, there's some information. Look, I do apologize for the lighting. If I put the big one above my head here, then it does give a bit of glare, so it doesn't make it well. So I guess I could leave the white backgrounds and all those kinds of things. I've tried lights behind it. I just don't have it set up where I am. I might even try and link a picture of what I've got gaming-wise where I am. So all my videos are going to be ad hoc. They're going to be possibly at work on a mine site where I'm in my room, so obviously I have to be aware of noise levels, and sometimes lights aren't that great. But from there, I'll just try to do the best I can. Star Atlas, MMORPG. Next, it's kind of like an Eve would be the best thing to explain. Star Warsy theme, futuristic, 500-600 years in the future. There are so many videos out there, and if you are thinking of Star Atlas, I do suggest going out there and trying to watch some of the hype videos. There's several linked. Star Atlas does a great job of keeping up with social medias and also linking out the people that might have a smaller YouTube and just to grow their game and grow their brand. So what they did very big early on, a 14-week release for Rebirth, Genesis of a Metaverse. So this is where they launched the little bit of seed funding towards their posters. They did sell 4 complete sets of these prior. I think it was prior, and they got some kind of a small discount, but that created 4 complete sets of these posters. 13 posters sold, open to the public. It was a weird setup where they started from 7 days at the first poster and the second, I believe. From there, the time reduced down the tier, and the prices doubled each time. So the first one, which was Discovery of Iris, that was $64 US. You can see here total supply 10,561. Super important. I believe they minted extra, and there was going to be a burn. So 10,500. That's it. That's all there's ever going to be for these. Now they do go into in their home screen. You've got the Rebirth event, and this is where it does get a little bit confusing for people that haven't followed it properly, as the tier structures was poorly written out, poorly explained. Tier 0 is actually what you get for buying the first poster and holding the first poster. So right here it says reward level 1. I think this needs to be fixed, and hopefully it does, because it's still very confusing. Reward level 1. To actually get tier 1, you need to have posters 1, 2, 3. So you have to have all 3 of those posters in order. You can't substitute and have an Armstrong instead of a poster 1. You have to have poster 1, 2, and 3. So right there you see Convergence War, and the other one was Heart of Star Atlas was the second poster. Convergence War was the third. Then you went down the list from there. And this is where it does get very confusing, and I think they need to fix this and fix it as soon as possible, because it's confusing and we've got all these new people coming in. I've seen interviews where the people don't understand it. The people doing these interviews actually don't understand it properly, and they need to be set on the right path. What I noticed was really with short story, The Lost Astronaut. This was absolutely awesome, and this is where I picked it up early on. Not picked it up, but picked up some of the hype for it. Was they really got into their social medias. They put in 3Ds. You can use your mobile phone whilst looking at this. I haven't done the VR experience because I want to save that for when I'm home with my partner and her boys. But the astronaut became bigger on the screen, and they had they had Easter eggs involved in this, and they made it, who is this astronaut? And then they really started doing that well with the rest of them, where they put in all these Easter eggs.
Intersection.
Just turn that sound off. This is one of my favorite posters for the sound, but I need to do the volume a little bit quieter. Now, I thought some of these posters were absolutely shit hot. The ones specifically with base jackers, and how they're talking over. Now, spend some time, go and have a look through there. You can look at these posters even if you don't own the posters. It went up until poster 13, which was Deadmau5, and pretty big star drop name there. Deadmau5 collabing on this was just an amazing achievement by them. Armstrong Forever is a really interesting situation where they've gone with the US Space Force base jackers. Really cool talk over about exploration, how it is. And now this links into the game. We were told that you could use multiple of these posters in game. Now you can see 2006 total supply. This went for 4 to 5 weeks. So 4 to 5 weeks this poster went, and it only sold 1/5 of the total of what the first poster sold. They were very, very similar price. The first poster went for $64. This poster was around 67 point something, so it was 68 odd dollars. Now, I was lucky enough to get a few of these myself. Really awesome experience to get in there, and I've got a couple in the last couple of weeks of announcing the dates, drawing down. I've just freed up a little bit of money and all that kind of stuff. Now, you can see the price on this is huge. So they have told us that I think it's around $6 million they've made from funding of the posters. Now, they've used this to pay their artists. They've gone from a team of 3 to 4 people to in the 40s and 50s. I probably don't even have those numbers right, but obviously people need to get paid. They need to pay artists. They need to pay advertising. They need to develop the games and go along in there. But look at the price of these posters. So whether they're actually selling or not, $1,100 from 60, 70 bucks investment at the start, on average, I think they've said it's a 27 million market cap. So you can come in here and you can click individually through these posters and see whether they're selling. Poster 3, Convergence War, I do believe selling for around $2,000 or $3,000 as well. Now, there you go, 1,800, but the first sell price is 2,600. So are they trading, or are they just blown out prices and people are hoping to get a lucky snag? Now, I think they need to improve this and also have a list of the posters in a better setup that you get them listed poster 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. with the prices. So you may trade more if you see the prices are there. You do get a lot of people going, why is Heart of Star Atlas so cheap? Let's have a quick look here. Now, Heart of Star Atlas is the second poster, and you have to have poster 1, 2, and 3, like I've said, in order, or you don't get the tier 1 rewards. So realistically, it's just artwork that you're getting. Obviously, you've got to have it along the way in orders and all of that kind of stuff, but it's not in the same category as poster 3. If you don't have poster 3, then poster 2 does nothing. So some people have bought extra poster 2s and aren't sure what to do with it. I'm not going to try to offer financial advice on that. You can see I have been trying to keep this as open as possible. You can see I own some of the posters. I was very fortunate enough to be in there, see the hype, and I went up to as far as the Alien Love one. Really cool with Step Finance. You can actually, whoa. Actually, I need to fix that up. But you can see the posters in there, and a lot of the dashboards are starting to do it. It's one of the reasons I like the dashboard. Now, let's get into it. What am I trying to talk about? So 500 to 600 years in future, based on 3 different races. So you've got the humans, you've got the aliens, and then you've got a robot-style race. Now, all of the names, all of the information is out there. I'm not trying to highlight too much on that. What is really cool in the Town Hall 12, these town halls are very interactive. They talk with the people. They involve people. They get them up there on stage. There was over 450, which apparently is double the previous town hall. I only managed to make the end because it's 6:30 a.m. in the morning for me. I just woke up and thought, what the fuck? And it was on. I thought, oh, cool. So I'll listen to the end of it. But Fun Cracker, you see him on every single town hall. he is getting a wiki going. Where is that? Get the right link here, Star Atlas Wiki. So they're going to be developing that over time, and that's going to be a resource for the public, for people, and I think they're going to allow public people to get in there and help. So it begins. This was an article raised on about the tokenomics coming ahead. They've launched. They've talked about not they've launched. They've talked about their upcoming launches. Now you're going to have to imagine it's going to be at the end of the month due to poster snapshots being taken on the 25th. Now they will do the OpenSea transfers to bring posters across to Solana to sort out before that. That's going to be said a few days before or in the upcoming days. On the 17th of this month, which is Tuesday, likely a Wednesday for me, being the Aussie, of course, in front of the world. 17th, we're going to find out exact information on the tokenomics and the game economics. How are we going to use our Atlas? How are we going to generate revenue? Different career paths and specializations. This really tickles me, Dick, because I like it's something from D&D style games was professions and specializations and things like that really did personally to me. I used to write out little graphs and spreadsheets and shit with all the professions and stuff. Something I did really in my mid-teen years. Bit of a D&D nerd. And Polis, we get a bit more of an idea on Polis and the political, how that's going to be used in the ecosystem. So the three announcers were FTX is going to be the first one. Now, you have to keep in mind, FTX to launch, there's usually 7 days prior, you have to have your FTT staked, 150 FTT. Always a huge platform, always huge releases on FTT. Next one after that, I'm pretty certain that it's going to be FTX, Radium, and then Apollo X. And Apollo X, I'll go into in more detail. Apollo X is going to be like a launch party. They've got DJs, which will be the bass jackers plus another DJ. I don't think they mentioned the name for that, but they're going to explode and launch this as a bit of a party and get cranking into it. But Radium, to get into the tokenomics of Radium releases, they've got a little bit of a thing up here. Usually speaking, you need your Radium. There's 2 launch pools. One will be having Radium staked 50 onwards for more than 30 days or 100 onwards for 7 or more days. So there's still going to be time, not financial advice, but I believe there still will be time to be able to buy Radium and involve yourself into these pools. Owning posters. Now, we've been told that owning posters is going to get you more tickets in the Radium launch pool, the IDO. It's going to be done a little bit differently on Apollo X with posters. So you're not guaranteed allotments on the Radium pool owning posters. You get more tickets. You go into a pool. Now, I've personally been in the last couple of pools, like and slurs, 22 odd tickets and got jack shit. But that's what the pool is. It's the same with FTX. You get tickets, and whether you win or not, it's not a guarantee. If you win, it's a money maker. Awesome. Money for jam. But from there, it's not guaranteed. Apollo X looks pretty out there. I do like the looks of Apollo X. I'll link up. I've got a picture here. A special shout out to Zaid in Telegram. Really helped me out with my information to get a quick dive into the projects, the Launchpad. Now, this is a Binance Smart Chain as far as I'm aware. They use 2 launchpads linked via the paid tokens, Ignition and Apollo X. And apparently they are very happy with it. They say they've got top-notch launches there, and very much like Radium, they have the top-notch things. Now, the paid network, when I was looking yesterday, 56 cents, 62 cents today. To get into that, where are we, was the picture, Apollo X, I'll link this up. You can link on the release. You don't have to have like a 7 or a 14-day prior or a 30-day prior. You link for that IDO. It locks your tokens up for 2 weeks afterwards. And I was told 25% APY on tokens while they're in there. So if you're looking at 62 cents, it's a little bit. 750, 1500, and 4500 were the previous IDOs. So you can't quote me on it. not financial advice. I don't know how often I'm meant to fucking say that. It's just I'll spam it out as much as possible. But I'm trying to get the information out there so people have, can I get into this? FOMO, is it going to be a viable project afterwards? I personally got Radium. This is one of the big reasons why I want to do blockchain gaming and concentrate on Solana is I have more of an idea on my own platform on Solana and getting the information. But paid networks there. What else are we going to get into? Let's go back to here. So continuing on from there, the posters, the tiers, the audios, tokenomics, the GAO, that's going to be happening towards the end of the month. I believe they're taking a snapshot. They are taking a snapshot on the 25th for the posters. That's going to release your badge. Let's go back to this page here, Rebirth tiers. So like I said, poster 1 gets you tier 0. Faction Passport Atlassian badge. So that badge is how you're going to get rewards. Now, there was a whole lot of information linked on yesterday's town hall, and they've actually mentioned how the badge is going to get you a drop, a loot box. Love our loot boxes, and that afterwards we were told that it's just going to be posted, then it's going to be NFT art. But old Wags yesterday did say that down the track they're talking about doing drops for the posters, so it's going to create additional market afterwards. So initially we were told $64 poster tier accumulated cost, so $64, but $58 of that's going to be game value, in-game value being your Pierce bike, your Pierce skin for the bike, and you get yourself a claim, mining, drill, and the space station where you can then store or convert and process that. Now, you have to clear these processed stakes. You can't just keep storing an unlimited amount of ore. So this is where you're going to have to be linking up into other ships, or you're going to have people bringing their freighters to collect your ore to then take it to smelters. There's going to be all this trading in this metaverse. It is fucking monstrous, honestly. I've been drinking the Kool-Aid. I've looked at it, and I'm not an EVE player. This is a new genre for me. And, like I've played 10 years of World of Warcraft, but this really does tickle my pink bits. I love it. I do like what we're looking at here. I like the hype involved in the game. I love how Wags has specifically gone to the smaller YouTubers and talked about it and really spent so much time evolving their brand, and it is really, really cool. I was lucky enough to be able to buy through the tiers. I had friends that have bought tier 0s and tier 1, and we're aiming at playing PvP side of things, but when that game is released, we don't know. Hopefully in the 3rd or 4th quarter of next year, we may see a Unreal Engine 5 version on the computer. Now, there's talk that end of August, early September now is the first time I heard that was last week for the mini game. And the mini game won't have PvP initially. You won't even be able to claim stakes, but there's going to be a way of claiming rewards for your initial investments. There is going to be a way to do mining. I still play Alien Worlds, and I love mining every day. It's a shit. It's not really a game in anywhere comparing it to something like this, but it's a really cool little concept. You get in, you log in, you do your mine, you log out half an hour later, you log back in. So I imagine there's going to be some kind of similarities there, but I think early on they're going to be looking at doing like your spaceship dock, where you can look at that and you get your crew, you get some components, you get them together, you do some PvE missions where you start to go through your loops and you just have some kind of value accrual. You earn your Atlas, you can then stake your Atlas to earn Polis. These are very interesting concepts, and I'll go more details into the tokenomics once we've got an idea of it. And from there is just so much. I know I haven't gone through everything that I'm after at the moment. Um, they were talking about multi-boxing um, in the last town hall. Now, I really hope they look at botting. Now, I've played World of Warcraft for this 10 years I keep talking about, and the bots were fucking prolific. They smashed the game, and you would see the bots would still be there. They talk that obviously you need to have posters and ships, but what you found in WoW was they might have a level 60 bot and they would continue farming on rotation these mobs and monsters, and the gear they'd get killed eventually, and you might get them and kill them if they're the opposite faction, and then their gear would go red, but they would still continue to bot farm. In Star Atlas, it will be a little bit different. Your ships are going to need fuel. You can only store so much ore before you need to then transfer that ore, but where there's money to be made, people will bot. It comes different. I am a multi-boxer. I have been since Vanilla WoW, probably around 2004. I had two computers. I played a Chamois and a Priest and dual box and did instances and all that kind of stuff. And it started ADHD for me and continued along forever since. I can't just play one version of a fucking game. So I have mentioned a whole lot of information. I've had a whole lot of caffeine this morning as well. Where are we going to go from there? I'm just having a look at my notes. Minigame. Minigame's going to be huge. Unreal cinematics are going to be coming out hopefully in the next week or two. And this was just to get something out there, a little bit of information out there. There's still time to be able to go into Radium and enter into the pools. There's still time for Apollo X to be able to enter into the pools. I didn't mention for Apollo X. I believe they're going to be a first come, first serve for the IDO. It's a little bit different than Radium and FTX. Very similar to the VC pools on Bone Feeder, where it's first come, first serve. Hopefully the bots don't fuck it up for the general public. I'm really, really passionate about this game. I'm very keen to get into it with my mates and play and go into PvP outer space and put a bit of skin on the line. But first come, first serve on Apollo X. The posters will be differently held there, though. Apparently that they're trying to develop pools where if you've got posters linked up there, then there will be a guaranteed allocation. I've got to double check on all of that. Did I discuss everything I want? Look, I hope I have. I've got some little things in the works myself. I personally would like to, I guess, finish off by talking about, where is it? Not Wales Friend. IA, Interstellar Allowance. Now, IA is huge for me in how I've associated to my enjoyment level of the community and the people. A special shout out to Christian, DGen today. They're going through their relaunch. They are really cool for a group. There's going to be these big monster guilds. Now, there might be small sections within these guilds. There might be platforms like I put my hand up to be a member running a nighttime in Australian time, +8, +10 GMT. Our time zone's the same as Singapore. So Perth and Singapore, same time zone. Now, I would like to do something there and run the PvP side of things with my own group and have some fun. And, like as Aussie players, we're a little bit different. We're degenerates. We swear. We have fun. We'll get on the piss. We'll have a few beers. But if you've got a $5,000 spaceship, are you going to just risk it? Or are you going to take some kind of calculated risk? Calculated risk. You're going to need to be a part of these communities. You're going to need to involve yourself in these communities. Now, they've got so much happening at Interstellar Alliance. They're kind of hamstrung in a way where they're waiting on information from Star Atlas, of course. We need these tokenomics. We need to know how it's going to work into it. But they are really cool at putting out community members, YouTubers, developers, people that are producing for the public. There's so much interest in this. Now, Star Atlas is going to have concerts. There's going to have online fashion. You had Usta, and there was a clothing design competition. there was all these kinds of things that it's not going to be just a small game, people going into outer space mining, closed loops, staring at the stars. There's going to be people that make livings from this. There's going to be people that are into the role-playing side of it. Very early on, Star Atlas was doing a whole lot of role-playing style tweets. I think because it was very early, they were just trying to generate that interest, and people connected with some of that kind of stuff. There's a lot of medium out there. So for me, big shout out to Christian. You can see here, I was chatting with Christian this morning, and I would like to, where are we? That's the Star Atlas. People are keen. The memes and stuff that are coming out is cool. 25 minutes. I've gone well over budget, well over time, but I'm hyped. I'm excited. I hope I've given information that is helpful. I'm very hyped about this, and I've kind of realized if I plan to deep dive into these projects, I can't just be doing one or two a week. Like if I want to, I'm going to have to be pushing my own videos out, talking. Maybe at some stage I'll have a look at streaming, but for now it's just getting these videos out when I've got a chance to produce. I'll be working back to work. Tomorrow I'll get on the bus, and Tuesday I'll fly out, but it doesn't mean I can't research and do things along the way. So big shout out to the guys at the great community at Interstellar Alliance. I know there's big things coming up. That's about all I've got for now. Thank you, Mother, for the rabbits.